Right. Right, for everybody watching this on the replay, which is going to be nobody, this is now the third time I've tried to attempt to do this stream, and I'm literally going to throw this laptop out the window if this happens again. Anyhow, welcome everybody. Fuck me. Welcome to supposedly a chill stream, but at the moment I am not chilled at all. So yeah, as I've stated 50 times, and if anybody's in chat that wants to repeat what I've just said, by all means, I'm bored out of my mind. Jesus Christ. I'm bored out of my mind, and I just felt like streaming. I thought, just simply hit a button. Can't even do that. Can't even do that without this fucking piece of shit crashing on me. Fuck me. I mean, ironically, about an hour ago now, Andy was streaming, and genuinely I clicked on just listening in. And I think for people like this, that like the live stream element and stuff, it's just something to listen to while we're bored out of our fucking minds. And I do find, like, with the live stream element of things, that people kind of, when they're doing something, kind of get to, quote, interact with the host or whoever and just chat absolute bollocks, to be honest with you. But it even happened like last night. I don't even know what happened last night, but there was a space being hosted by FPL veteran Sean, who's a regular contributor, if not one of the hosts on FPL Casuals. And he, for whatever reason, the space just wasn't loading. So I was trying to listen in, but I couldn't. So, and this is the thing, when you're doing something which is just a mindless task, in my case last night, driving from Regent's Park to get back to where my depot is, I just wanted to listen into something live. I didn't want to listen into Fantasy Football Scout because, to be honest with you, no disrespect, it just bores me. I just wanted to hear normal everyday people that just want to chat absolute tripe about fantasy football. It's more, it's more relatable. Because I literally tuned into the Fantasy Scout for about 30 seconds, and the first thing I hear is, well, Gabriel's XG is... Oh, just turn off. Get off. And in fact, this links me into this beautifully, if I can bring it up, which I can do. So, we all know, you're probably aware of the FPL Juice show, but they kindly sent me that. I received that today. An FPL Juice. It's not really a pint glass, but a glass. And just put up a funny video on Twitter. Drinking creatine, because that'll get you big. And yeah, they kindly sent me it. And I have to say that I am genuinely envious of the FPL Juice show, because they have got a setup which makes me jealous. I'm not going to lie. They're two lads, but then again, you can classify, they've got guests, producers, directors, extras. But they're in a studio, and their setup is fucking incredible. It is insane, their setup, and I'm legitimately envious of it, and I want it. I'm not going to lie. I'd love it if me and Jason could just have a studio like that and do the show they do, because their show is potentially one of the most professional setups I think I can think off the top of my head. Like, yeah, you get channels that are... I'm not even talking about fantasy football now. I'm talking about just general podcasters that do what FPL Juice does, but their setup is just basically just around a table or whatever. The closest I can think of regarding the setup FPL Juice got is when True Geordie did Kickoff, my new best mate, True Geordie. And that's about as close as it gets to, from my point of view, FPL Juice doing a similar style of show like the Kickoff. Because whenever I'm lying in my bed, I was going to do a total Steve-O line there, but I can't. I can swear on here, but there are certain things I can't go down the route of. But while I was lying on my bed, I was just watching, just like, this is incredible. And I must say, I'm glad I'm kind of like on board with watching them and supporting them with the membership and everything. And this season for me is literally going to be Planet FPL juice only. And I mean, I've subscribed to Andy, but I only listen into his live streams. That's all I do. Again, it's the live stream element. I'm not interested in video formats. And yeah, like I say, I find the live stream element of things just absolutely fascinating. But let's just see if there's anybody in the chat, shall we? And there's a few people here. I'll say hello quickly once I just hit the pop-out chat. And here we are. Hello, Podner, John Wilkes. Afternoon, Stephen. Not working out, I'm just listening in. What are you doing, John? What are you actually doing, though? Connell O'Toole. Is that isn't that The Simpsons' Timmy O'Toole? I got stuck in the well. Don't worry, we'll get you out. And we're sending our love down the well. Hello, Fantasy World Order. Where's Gloria? Yeah. Gloria. God, Gloria. Christ almighty. For anybody that doesn't even know what that is about, basically, on the Turtle Steve podcast, I essentially just document my life on the road, I guess. Any Office fans out there? Life on the Road. And terrible film. Absolutely fucking abysmal. But the other day when I was delivering to a very, 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 very pretentious dance studio, this woman that must have been late 60s, early 70s comes to the door. I'm just paraphrasing it, but Oh, it's the Tesco boy. It's the Tesco delivery boy. There's nobody here at the moment. Oh, where's Gloria? Gloria! Gloria! Oh, for fuck's sake. Just listen to the podcast. Just fucking mental. Some of the people I come across on my job is, as I keep saying, I'd like to think that most people that are watching this, listen to the podcast, are just working class individuals like me, and are essentially just individuals that just can just string a few quid together. Whereas these people, a tenner to them is like they may as well wipe the bum with it. Like, it's just nothing. They may as well just wipe their arse with a £10 note, a £20 note, a 50, and throw it down the drain. But that's the kind of people I come across. They don't have a fucking clue how the real world is. They don't have a clue. Perfectly nice people, but when it comes to the real world, they honestly, it's chalk and cheese. One of my favourite lines in Extras. Oh yeah, talking of which, there's my press the wrong button. Here's my notes on The Office episode 1. That's just one page, turn it around, 2 page, 3 pages on my podcast that I'll be doing on The Office /Extras. I don't give shitty jobs. Fuck me. I genuinely can't wait to do it, because doing podcasting, especially about a specific subject matter. So I've just been doing WWE. Well, it started with music, but that was all just an experiment. My music history and stuff. Those podcasts are terrible. But did all my music history. And then I decided to do 2011 WWE, which was beyond a struggle until I got to the CM Punk Summer of Punk era, which was basically just Money in the Bank and SummerSlam, and then it just fell off a cliff, and I was just pulling my non-existent hair out. I hated it. So I just stopped, and I was like, right, I'm just going to do bullshit podcasts for a bit, and then I'm going to kind of delve into like another podcast which I may be interested in doing, which was basically 2015, because that's when I got into wrestling, basically. I went back into wrestling in 2015, Royal Rumble. Watched the Royal Rumble, thought it was really good, did a podcast about it. Watched the following Raw, which was ironically cancelled, so they had to do like an in-studio based product for Raw. And then I watched the actual next Raw, which was the proper one that went live, and I just couldn't deal with it. 2 hours and 40 minutes of absolute tripe. And the opening 30 minutes is just 4 or 5 wrestlers talking to each other. It's awful. And I'm like, I can't do it anymore. So the last episode is basically WWE or WWF No Way Out 2002, where the NWO invade. It's fucking awful. And I just thought, I can't do it anymore. I can't do wrestling anymore. So I thought, to hell with it. Let's just do something that I actually genuinely enjoy, which is The Office extras, anything to do with Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant. And the idea will be to do a look back at The Office and extras, and then the plan will be to do interviews with some of the guys from the fantasy football community. Fuck me. And just chat shit about why The Office and extras has had such an impact on their life. Why are you telling us this? Because I can. Because you poor bastards are tuning in for some bizarre reason. Hello, Madeline Tudor, Matthew Zaishi. Fantasy World Order saying, do I listen to Andrew Tate streams? No. The simple answer is no. I know his name. That's about as far as information I can go. Thing is, I ain't got the time to be listening into too many podcasts. My work really doesn't really dictate to that. And I'm really, really particular when it comes to podcasts and streams and various other things. Like, I'm really particular. Can I think of an example of someone I was just like, I can't listen to this? Yeah, I can. So I've discovered a podcast recently called Dear Download for Download Festival. It is fantastic, like legitimately superb. Adam and Simon, who host the podcast, are just phenomenal at what they do. And they literally just talk about Download Festival and their experiences. They're literally doing it in chronological order, but they'll also do bonus episodes. And they'll talk about how Spotify is Spotify ruining the music industry, or what's it like to crowdfund, and so on and so forth. However, they did one the other day. I say the other day. This was 3 years ago now. Yeah, so this is 3 years ago. But they did one with 2 individuals that were in the theatre industry and how to become popular and go far in the theatre. I just had to turn it off because I just decided it's just rubbish. It was like, I was thinking it was going to be an hour and a half long. 2.5 hours of quite interesting conversation. But I was just like, nah, it wasn't pulled off, basically. So you could pull him off if I had to, yeah. Good, that's all I want to know. And you're how old? 30? And you're getting off with the fact that Gareth's gay? What? Lesrie, one of our members, saying, loving the Rashford cap. Yes. Hi Annie, if that's actually real. Connell, Timmy O'Toole is saying, say hello to my friend Annie, if that's real. Hi. You'll understand that reference if you listen to the hi. I really fancy you. Hi. Christ, who listens to this shit? I don't know why I'm laughing. Yeah, the Rashford pick. Finally, some FPL chat after 15 minutes. That's all the new subscribers. They've gone. Why am I listening to this shit? I just want to talk fantasy football. Yeah, welcome to Elite FPL. You think FPL juice goes on tangents? Christ. The Rashford pick, in all seriousness, it's genuinely based on the fact that I think there's a higher ceiling for Rashford to get a double-digit haul than Haaland. For real. I think that the reality of the situation is that Wolves are terrible. They've lost about 30 players. They're going to be playing a C team. By the end of last season, they were conceding so many goals that it was getting beyond a joke. If the season had lasted any longer, they would have been relegated. They're up against a Manchester United team who are going to be really, really wanting to do well this year. I'm stating the obvious, but I think Man United are legitimately going to be potentially challenging for the title, along with the likes of Arsenal, Chelsea, Burnley. And I think that the Rashford captaincy pick could be a lot more profitable than Haaland. Rashford at home last season, I think it was like an average score points of like 10 points a match at home. At Old Trafford, Man United didn't lose. They just kept winning 2-0, 3-0. That's all it was. And I truly think that next season, especially the start of it, Man United could be really, really taking advantage of these opening fixtures. And yes, backing against Haaland could be mad, but it's at Turf Moor. Do I expect us to win? No. Do I expect us to even get a point? No. But I just... Do I see Haaland scoring? Yeah. Do I see him getting a double-digit haul, though? No, I don't. I think it'll be... I think 2 or 3-1. I think, for obvious reasons, the goals will be scored across many, many different players. And certainly, with Rashford being one of the main targets up front for Man United, and the creativity he has and stuff, and the fact that he's going to have the likes of Mason Mount there, Fernandes, Martial, Garnacho, Sancho. I think Rashford could be an absolute bargain. I mean, I haven't even spoke about my team because I don't really need to, because it's self-explanatory really, but the only one change I've made is basically Maddison out for Eze. One thing that I do occasionally do, very rare, but occasionally I'll read a thread on Twitter, and one thread came up about Tottenham, and to summarise it, it basically said just avoid Tottenham at the moment. And James from Planet FPL makes the same point. Just hold back. Just go with players which you know can deliver. And I think Eze, for me, their opening fixtures are glory. They're glorious. And I think that certainly from that standpoint, I think taking advantage of Crystal Palace's opening fixtures, I've got them here, haven't I? Yeah, I think I've got them here. Sheffield United away, decent fixture. Brentford, Wolves, Aston Villa. Eze is going to be the key man. I read that Eze is looking like they're really going to be playing him a more further advanced role, a more freer role. And yeah, I'm buying into the narrative, and I'm going with Eze. I've got two. It means then I've got 2.5 in the bank, which for me is going to then be able to, over the opening few fixtures, right, I've made a cock up there, I can upgrade whoever it is to whomever. Like, for instance, I was reading about or hearing about Nkunku yesterday, and I saw that Late Riser put up a comment from someone. I'm doing a Homer Simpson. I don't know that either. I think it was Pochettino. And I think he just said that Nkunku loves the free roll and everything, and essentially it looks like Nkunku could be a real quality signing, but I just think just hold and wait for me. Hold and wait. That's just from my point of view. Yeah. So I think I'm just going to go with players which have got really good opening fixtures to start with, and then reevaluate after like game week 2, because I'm already essentially pretty locked in on a wild card after game week 4 or 5, depending on how the opening fixtures go, but predominantly my team is pretty template. John Wilkes saying, I'm actually working, I stopped for lunch and the notification you were live ping, so here I am. Well, thank you, John, and like I say, I'm like this with anybody that I'm obviously I'm barely subscribed to anybody anyway. I think I'm subscribed to 9 channels on YouTube, and one of them is there's 2 that I'm subscribed to from an FPL point of view. It's Harry, supporter of the show, and Andy. That's it. Friends. And whenever they go live, I will tune in. And if by chance I'm at home and I've got YouTube and I see there's a live stream of an FPL channel, I usually do just tune in and just do some, well, I'll do nothing really and just watching. Millen Milich is saying, I'm on my final day of work before a 15-day vacation. I'm bored out of my mind, so just listening. So this is the thing, isn't it? I mean, I need a break. I mean, I'm kind of a bit gutted. I'm gutted in the sense I've got to start my new job Tuesday, which means I get no break at all. So I've been working consistently since April, early April. So I haven't had a break for like 4 months, and by August it'll be 5 months, and I'm booking in holiday, or basically time off work, as soon as I can get it in my new job, because I need a fucking break. I'm not going to lie. I'm when it comes to work, I am just exhausted, and it's just getting on my nerves now, having to just every day, well, not every day, but you know what I mean, just constantly going in, especially in this delivery driver job. But yeah, I think you having a 15-day vacation, get away from everything is great. Hello FPL, Matty win a lot. You're not late to the party, don't worry about it. Robbie saying the Office is great, Stevie. Yes, I know. I say addicted to it. I'm not addicted. I haven't watched The Office for about a year and a half. But even then, like, I don't watch it at all. And me going through it the other day, it's things like, let's just take the opening scene as a prime example of, I don't give shitty jobs. And he's speaking to Jeff from Peep Show. And it's just the whole, like, swinging on the, I don't give shitty jobs. And then he just says about the whole thing of like, I know the man for the job. I know the man for the job. And his name's Alex within the show, but we're just going to call him Jeff for the sake of it. But Jeff's face of just looking around like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, who is this guy? The facial expressions are incredible. Sammy, you old slag. Have you advertised the forklift driving truck job yet? No, don't bother. I've got the man. He's perfect. Has he passed the forklift driving test? He gives the test. I'm seeing you Sunday for my sins. How is Elaine? She left you yet? Hello, Elaine. Has she left you yet? Yeah. Forgot about that. The amount of times I used to do that on a daily basis at work. Forgot about that. I wasn't even wearing a tie. Forgot about that. She has left him. It's that look to the camera. Jesus Christ. Talking of The Office. Boo. We've got a Swindon lot here. Even though, ironically, I am Neil in The Office. I am basically Neil in The Office. Hello, Dilkington. Hello, Dilkington. Fantasy World Order saying, going by what my mate's wife said about you. What does that mean? Your mate's wife said about me Andrew Tate streams are right up your alley. If you want to private message me what that means, please do. Because I don't know what that means. Do I know when Man City will be playing their friendlies? I want to see where Foden plays. You've come to the wrong stream. I generally don't know. I don't follow anything to do with friendlies. If in the words of Ricky Gervais on XFM, if I see a friendly, it's by luck. I don't follow any of it, to be honest with you. I don't have. I'm interested in the friendlies in the sense of if any form of information comes out which is needed for us as fantasy football players to find out, you know, where specific, like you've just mentioned there, specific players are playing, and where, for argument's sake, what do you call it? For argument's sake, an injury happens or something. Other than that, I genuinely just have no interest in friendlies whatsoever. Even when it comes to Burnley, I'll just listen to the Turfcast. That's a podcast I've come across. This Burnley one called the Turfcast. Fantastic for people like me. Absolutely fantastic when it comes to me. I know Llama's on Twitch. What are you doing on Twitch for? I like the Maddison as a wee differential pick. As long as they attack as Big Ange wants them to, then he could be decent. But it'll all change when the sheepies dive on the popular picks. Well, you know, I mean, your words. In fact, how can I forget the FPL casuals? Obviously, Llama, a friend of the show. He's another one that I tune in. No matter what, if he's live, I'm in there. But this is the thing with fantasy football, isn't it? We go with a within reason, a pretty basic template team, guaranteed within reason starters, players that we know that are going to be in the positions that we think they're going to be in. Rashford up front, but he's better playing off the left, Steve-O. Don't you understand? Calvert-Lewin will be a pivotal figure in Everton's attack, etc., etc. But for me, because I've got that 2.5 million, I can jump on to certain players. Even if Trent doesn't work out, just downgrade him to Chilwell. Oh, I've then got 3 or 4 million in the bank. Just upgrade Calvert-Lewin to Mitrovic, who's leaving along with their manager. Did you hear about that? Obviously you would have heard about their manager leaving. Yeah, there's an offer tempting him to go to Saudi Arabia. Jesus Christ. It's just mental, that whole thing is just mad. All right, any God. I don't understand that fantasy world order, to be honest with you. Good afternoon, Eddie. How's my day so far, Steve-O? Matty's saying. So, I'm finding it very difficult to adjust to my time schedules, i.e. not having to work until 5-6 o'clock in the evening and finishing at 11-12 o'clock at night. I'm finding that really, really difficult. Not in the sense of finishing that time, but not having to. I don't have to wake up at 5 in the morning, but I still do, naturally. And obviously with the sun being out at 4 o'clock in the morning or whatever, you know, my natural sleep pattern just wakes me up, and I find it very difficult to go back to sleep again. Don't get me wrong, like I usually do end up going back to sleep, but I just find it quite difficult. So I just think, fuck it, I'm just getting up. But then I realise, oh wait, I can't drive to the gym because at this specific, well, between 7:15, 7 o'clock up till 9, the specific spot on the A40 I can't get through for at least 15 minutes, and I'm not wasting my life spending in a queue. So I just stayed at home and I just watched Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant and Carl Pilkington clips from the Sunday brunch. They weren't on it together, it was just individual spots that they did, but the Carl Pilkington section, I was just in absolute stitches. Harry Dawson, absolutely desperate to know who's in the YouTube chat league. And the members league is about as self-explanatory as it gets. If you remember, you remember. The YouTube chat league, however, that's a different story. So I'll be announcing that on Monday, probably, when we do a live stream with Jace. Robbie's saying this Amdouni from Burnley, apparently he's unreal. Yeah, I've got some bad news about that. So the Turfcast had an expert on about Swiss football, and he just basically said that you'll be lucky to get, due to the adaptation phase stages and everything, you'll be lucky to get a total of anywhere between 10 and 12 attacking returns. And that isn't even from an FPL perspective, that's just in general. So he's just talking as a footballer because of the adaptation and everything. He thinks that, you know, it's going to be difficult for him to settle into the Premier League, and the fact that the likelihood of him getting 15 plus attacking returns is very unlikely. All our attacking returns are going to be spread across the front four anyway, and apparently, so Turfcast is saying that Teller is basically a done deal. It's just getting it done. We've got Nathan Redmond in on a free, which I again, I'm only going off what the Turfcast say. They're very happy with it. Andros Townsend, they're very happy. And the reason being why they're happy is because of the experience of the Premier League that they've got. And the fact that, you know, they did, well, specifically with Redmond and everything, like they did a decent job at Southampton, and they were reflecting on particularly that famous incident regarding Pep Guardiola and him having a go at Nathan Redmond when they were losing 6-0 or whatever it was, and he was very impressed by Nathan Redmond. So it's more for the experienced heads in the dressing room to kind of like, because as they mentioned, I'm just repeating what they're saying, but they were going on about the fact that, look, there will be a point in the season when we just don't get a single point. It'll be just loss after loss after loss after loss, and it's going to take the experienced heads of the likes of Redmond and Townsend, Weghorst, fucking hell, to get us through those hard times, because we are a very young team. I mean, our average age is probably about 23, and I'm really confident for the season ahead based on the way we play. I think that next season we're going to do very, very well. I think we're going to do something what Brentford or Fulham did. We'll get a few batterings. I think the likes of Liverpool, I've already mentioned this before, I think Liverpool, Man City, if Chelsea gel well, Tottenham always batter us. I think we could be in for a few hidings. But against the teams like Luton, even though ironically it's been postponed, but Luton, Brentford, Everton, Wolves, etc., I think that we're going to do very, very well. Crystal Palace is another team we'll do well at. Brighton, basically because of our possession-based football and our just constant harassing of players and trying to get that ball back after 6 seconds or whatever the rule is. Hello, Gary. Podner saying the effective ownership on Haaland is going to be huge. It will be. Of course it will. That's stating the obvious. I'm fully aware of the effective ownership, and it's going to be one of those where it will be worrying for non-Haaland captains. However, I just don't see Haaland getting a double-digit haul against us. That's what I don't expect. So a double-digit haul, what's that? A goal and an assist. Okay, let's take that back. Do I expect Haaland to potentially get a goal and assist against us? Yeah, there's a 70-75% chance. 2 goals? That's possible. 3? There's a Mr. Burns joke there. But 2 goals or more, I don't know, I just don't see it. Rashford, on the other hand, I can see him matching Haaland / put a slash there. Put it in. 2 goals or more, maybe even potentially a hat-trick. Unlikely, but certainly I can see Rashford competing with Haaland in the opening game, definitely. If it was away at Wolves, you know, I'd be concerned. If it was away at Wolves, I'd be concerned, but it's the fact that it's at home. Milic saying, and Nkunku is a very interesting 7.5 bracket option. It's so easy to switch to bring it. And that's the thing for me. I think that for me, having that money in the bank to potentially swap Calvert-Lewin to Nkunku, done. Easy. For their match against West. Who are they playing? I should really have the FPL site in front of me here, which of course I don't. Let's have a just quick look at the FPL site for a second here, just to look at Chelsea's fixtures. It's in game week 3, isn't it? So they've got Liverpool, West Ham, isn't it? And then it's Luton. Oh, for God's sake, I can't even bring that up because of some poxy bloody this authentication thing that you gotta do. Oh, here we go. Right, I'm in. So with Chelsea, for argument's sake, my plan is to kind of look at Chelsea and Tottenham in their opening fixtures. So Tottenham, okay fixture away at Brentford, but it doesn't scream goals. Chelsea at home to Liverpool again. Ironically, I can see that being like a 3-2 either way. Because do you remember when was it underneath Pochettino when Tottenham and Liverpool used to play each other? It was just goals. Am I right in saying that? I'm pretty certain I'm right in saying that. And I think that could be the same here. I think that could be like a 3-2 either way, something like that. But yeah, game week 2, Chelsea away at West Ham. Although ironically, West Ham at home, am I right in saying they weren't that great? It was their away form that was good. But yeah, Chelsea away from home. But then it's on to the decent fixtures, isn't it? Luton, Nottingham Forest. And then we've got Bournemouth. I mean, game week 2 could be the one for me where Calvert-Lewin, after his 2 opening decent fixtures where he's got... Here we go, let's click on that. Calvert-Lewin. Fulham at home, decent fixture. Aston Villa away, horrendous. But then Wolves at home, Sheffield United away. Those opening 4 fixtures, well, 3 of the 4, I would expect to fully fit Calvert-Lewin to bring me a minimum of 3 attacking returns. So, for argument's sake, 2 goals and an assist across those 3. So, but with the likes of the Chelsea boys, who I think we're all going to keep an eye on them. I know that I'm just basically going around in circles here with Chelsea, but game week 3, I mean, it is just disgusting. Luton, Forest, Bournemouth, Aston Villa, Fulham, Burnley. I mean, I'd expect them to have a lot of fun in those particular fixtures, and knowing the way Pochettino likes to play, it really could be just game week 3, just lob on. And if the game turns out to be attack in against Liverpool, it could be just a simple case of fuck it, I'm getting on. And let's just say in the first game, Calvert-Lewin does nothing against Fulham. Everton look terrible. They've gone and lost 2-1 against Fulham, which wouldn't surprise me considering Fulham's away record last year and Everton's terrible home record. But they lose 2-1 to Fulham. But Chelsea have just lost to Liverpool in a high-scoring 3-2 game. But Nkunku's got a goal and he looked on fire. West Ham, in their opening fixture, away at Bournemouth, They win 1-0, they look flat, they look deflated, I'm then thinking, do you know what, to hell with this, let's just get in cuckoo now while we can, because that Chelsea attack is just flying at the moment. To hell with it. But we've got ages before that, but certainly I'm going to be keeping an eye out, ironically, keeping an eye out for the friendlies that Everton are involved with. Certainly. Atu Patel is saying, what's my new job? I'm going to be working for the NHS as a porter. So, to be completely honest, it's just basically, from what I've been told, going round the grounds and just sweeping up, making sure the grounds are clean and tidy, and clearing out the bins, making sure the correct stock is sent off to wherever it needs to go, really. It's going to be interesting to see what the job entails, because, to be honest, I don't have a clue, but I can't imagine it being anything like the job that I've got now. And talking of which, Dave the FPL's here. My God, as JR would say. My God! Davey's another one I tune into, actually, on a regular basis when he's live. No Weak Foot, good afternoon. Ricky Kiley, good afternoon. The Man City players, according to Max, are jumping on a plane to play in Japan this week and next week. Matt saying, I just wish the game started tomorrow, as we are all just waiting now, but I'm sound, thanks. Yeah, I think this is the thing, like, FPL launches so, 5 weeks before the season starts? I think I've said this 1,000 times, I think half the time it's better off starting 2 weeks beforehand, because a lot of this is just bullshit coming out from the mouth of any idiots like me, or any of the, like, proper, let's get real here, proper content creators like Davey FPL as an example, who are giving out proper information. And, you know, it is just almost to the stage where it's all just if buts, like I've just done there. If buts and maybes, what if this happened? This is all we're doing in our heads. What if? Even when I was listening into Andy earlier on, it was just constantly what if. And yeah, like I say, things like this that I'm doing is just a laugh. It's just a joke. If you want to tune in, you tune in. If you don't, you don't. I really couldn't give a fuck, to be honest with you. The fact that there are a few people listening into this is mind-blowing. But point being is that it's almost like a process of just, we as fantasy football content creators, even though I don't really classify Elite FPL as that, but we are. As we keep saying, we're just two idiots that chat in front of the microphone like this, talking about The Office and extras. But it does get a bit like, Christ, can we just, I want to get on with the matches now. I just want to see what's going on. But there is a lot of, like I say, there is a lot of good content out there which you can consume, and I certainly over this period have been really enjoying, like I say, the FPL Juice Boys, Llama, and tuning into the space that FPL Veteran does with FPL Rhinos. He's good. He's FPL Rhinos is somebody who's another one that's very good at the game and has got his different thought processes. And I think that once we try and get out of that, and it's very difficult trying to get out of that sheep mentality, because I know what it's like. I mean, even when I was listening into Andy, if I was listening to Davey, it doesn't matter. You're listening into their information, you're going, Christ, why have I got Eze in my team? Why have I captained Rashford? Even though all your own sound logic is there, you still question it because you respect the opinion of the individual that you're listening to, whoever that may be. Max Roberts saying, the best signing you've done is James Trafford. So, interestingly and funny enough, the Turfcast has actually done a podcast on James Trafford yesterday or today. It was yesterday. So I'm going to be listening into that today to see what he's going to be, what the guy from Bolton thinks of that. Colm saying, I find it really funny that all the people saying that Vinicius will be a good pick. Do they really think Fulham will just keep hold of Mitrovic's transfer fee and not buy a replacement? Well, this is the thing, you see. I think that... Sorry, I really shouldn't have read that comment. I'll read it, but it's just put me off this. That's mental. Sorry, I'll explain that in a second. Hello, Nasty Balls. So, yeah, Mitrovic leaves. Is Vinicius an automatic pick? Precisely. It depends how late into the transfer market we go for Mitrovic potentially leaving. But if they leave it too late and they can't find a replacement, well, then Vinicius is the one. But there will be plans in place from AEW owner Tony Khan in place to be thinking, right, we've got to put a contingency plan here to think, hold on a minute here. Mitrovic, there's a high chance he could be going here. We need to find someone to replace him with. Because is Vinicius any good? Is he good enough to hold up the... Who knows? I'm just going to turn the light on, because there could be some poor bastard watching this on big screen. Let me just move that out of the way. And then there was light. Isn't that what Ricky Gervais says in his comment? Here we go. Fantasy World Order. You're saying that didn't your best mate's wife say that you're a ladies' man, but you're a tad misogynistic? No, she didn't say that. She always jokes and says, "Why do you hate women?" And I always make the point, I don't hate women. It's just a simple fact. It's just a simple fact that certain women, the pretentious ones, and I can only judge it on certainly the ones that go to the gym. Again, I apply this to men as well, but just this attitude of, you can't look at me despite the fact I'm wearing a bikini top. It's just mental. In fact, there's a channel, again, I don't watch it because it's just too... I wouldn't say it's for the kids, but the way it's edited is for the kids. His name's... fucking hell. I've completely forgotten it. But he's basically a channel, a very large fitness channel that highlights the fitness culture and how moronic it's got. And he always highlights certain women that are filming themselves, and then because they know it's going to trend on TikTok, they deliberately film themselves, and a bloke will be stood behind them doing some dumbbell curls, and if by chance that the guy just looks over briefly, she then has the audacity to basically say on TikTok, look at this creep checking me out while I'm trying to film myself. And it's like, this bloke says, he's not checking you out, he's just doing some dumbbell curls, and just on that specific moment he just glanced over for a split second. You're in a public gym. If you want to train on your own, train on your own. Train in your garage, train in your bedroom. But when you're in a public gym, it's like, don't get me wrong, I get frustrated when, at certain points in the gym where like you're literally on your own and there's all this other equipment available, and then someone will come up to you and go, how many more sets? You just think, you are taking the fucking piss, aren't you? All this equipment and you want to use this specific piece when you can just do the same exercise over there or there or there or there or there. You want to choose fuck off. Fantasy World will say I'm still on Salah in. Yep. I think it's a great choice to start with. Like I said, 3-2 to Liverpool. Salah goal and assist. Can I still... Where's that there? Fantasy World, can you still get up your season history records? What do you mean by that? Are you meaning the Premier League season stuff? If you mean that, I can. Yeah. What are you... I think I can. Mr. Watermelon saying, Man City to win the league again. It's all about motivation. I don't think Pep Guardiola is going to allow his team to be demotivated. They are obviously going to be challenging for the title, as patronising, as stupid as that sounds, but I mean, if I had 50p, which I do, I would put 50p on Man City winning for obvious reasons, and I think there's a very, very high chance of them winning it, but how motivated are the players to do it all over again? Still going to be very high, because the standards that Pep Guardiola sets is going to be very, very high, but I think Arsenal are going to be a different beast. They're going to be an even different beast. I think they would have learnt a lot from last year. Like those silly losses that they took last year, and the stupid draws and various other matches where they should have won but they didn't get anything out of. I know Dan speaks very highly of that and how frustrated he was with the drop points, but certainly Arsenal are going to be a new animal. I think they still need to get a better striker, to be honest with you. I think that there's probably a better striker out there that they can have, but I think defensively they're fine. Midfield, they're more than qualified, but up front I still don't think Jesus is good enough to lead the line and get. He needs too many chances, unfortunately. Matty went a lot saying, what I like about the start of the Premier League is there's always a template, but nobody knows if it's right or wrong. So just go with who you think is the best and stick with it, and don't just follow the sheep herd. Yeah, that's. I think that is the thing. I think that the reality of the situation is that nobody knows who to. We've only got the data based on what happened on last year, but there are certain players that you can probably rely on and go, well, the consistency of the last few seasons suggests that they're just going to continue performing at that level. Haaland being one of them. Every single season he's played for a team, he's just scored goals and goals and goals. What we think that this season now he's not going to do it. No, he will. He will. Harry Dawson's saying there are certainly different people in the chat for the midweek stream. 2 people. Jason's here. Fucking hell! I wanted to do Jason Rose, wasn't it? Yeah. Hello, mate. Fucking hell. Anana is now in FPL. Dugington says he's 5 million. What's your thoughts on him? I don't really have any thoughts on him. I don't know anything about him whatsoever, other than he's apparently a very good goalkeeper. Going off what Mark Goldbridge says, he's very, well, on TalkSport, he's very, very happy with Anana coming in. I think he's a perfectly adequate, what do you call it? I can't even think, but whatever. The point being is that coming in for De Gea, I think we can't go wrong. Would I be bringing him into my team? No, because I've got Luke Shaw. Maybe I could get rid of Luke Shaw, bring in an Arsenal defender, and then upgrade Flecken to Anana, which means I've still got Man United coverage. So the only downside to Shaw is the worry of the fact that Shaw may not be on set pieces anymore, but because certainly in the friendlies, I believe that Mason Mount was taking quite a lot of them, along with Bruno Fernandes. Good afternoon, PM. Good afternoon, Marcus. Zimmy. Good afternoon. Hearing Mark Heron saying, I'm here in Canberra, Australia, finding your podcast perfect for drifting off to. What, all the sex chat and them? And how I hate women. Fucking hell. Yeah, I mean, like I say, there are quite a lot of people that, I mean, I'm not going to, I always say this, if someone isn't going to publicly message me about my podcast, I won't reveal their name, but let's just put it this way. A high profile content creator came forward and said they really enjoy my podcast, and I was like, oh, what? Like, you listen to my podcast? Just fucking mental. Absolutely mental. Fantasy World Order saying, I'm in Melbourne. I joined a new gym this week. It's Steve O'Grind time. God, my gym session was shit this morning. Before I answer that, why Luke Shaw instead of Wan-Bissaka? He's nailed. Luke Shaw's nailed, and Wan-Bissaka, unfortunately, has got competition from Delo. Even though I love Wan-Bissaka. And if I knew that he was going to start, I'd have him in at 4.5 ahead of Luke Shaw. That's the truth. I think Wan-Bissaka is fantastic. But yeah, my session in the gym this morning was literally just going through the motions like, I can't be bothered. Wait a minute, I'm getting a bit of the pump on here. Ooh, I'm able to do, what was it, 30, 40. Ooh, I've just done 50 kilogram barbell curls. Oh my God, I've done 3 reps. And I just thought, fuck it, I'm just going to go over to the dumbbells and doing 22 kilogram supination curls, just throwing them out. And then it was just like, oh, I'm actually getting a pump on here. And I went from, I can't be bothered to be here, to, oh, actually, not too bad. That's it. Well done, Marcus. Congratulations. I think the channel you were talking about is the Shredded Sports Science guy who hosts it. Yes. So he is legitimately fantastic to listen to. I personally wish he attacked the fitness industry a bit more harsher, but I understand the humour he's getting out. I don't particularly like the humour myself, but I appreciate the stuff that he does. I don't, like I say, every single video he puts out is virtually the same. It's why I don't really subscribe to him, because I just get bored of it. You could literally go back 3 years ago and whatever he's uploaded there will be exactly the same as what he's uploaded today. It's just different content creators. But it's like Will Tennyson. He's another one. He's incredible at what he does. There's no denying what Will Tennyson does is insane. Will Tennyson is a fitness influencer, and he basically does these challenges. But it's getting to the point now where I just think, yeah, you're getting a bit desperate, and I'm actually personally just bored of it. Like, for instance, the other day, he uploaded a video saying where he was in a wheelchair and he just decided just to live a day without his legs, and I just think, are you really that desperate? You know, even like he did one recently which was training in the most expensive gym in America. You know, and basically it was whenever they say this, it's not like a working class gym where your everyday person goes. This is like places where professional football players go, or basketball players. Sports people, in other words. It's not for people like you or me. You know, I think the most expensive, I mean, obviously I'm going to be wrong here, but like one of the most expensive public gyms in England you can go to, or certainly in London, is David Lloyd. They're one of the more expensive gyms in London. Again, it's public, but it's very expensive. I think someone that I know that was going there was spending £120 a month. Like, I just don't see the point in going with that. Morning, Stex is here. Morning. Matty's saying, I had Onana in UEFA Champions League. He was amazing. So he's a great shop stocker, apparently, according to Matty. Madeline Tudor saying, Hamanda from Palace is the best 4.5 midfielder in my opinion. He played all 3 pre-season matches and he's bagged a goal and assist. Also with Eliseo, he should play a lot of minutes. Also, he can play anywhere behind the striker. Well, there we are. There's a bit of knowledge there from Madeline Tudor. Armada. I think I'll still stick with Eze. At least he's absolutely guaranteed. If you look at the second half of the season, Wan-Bissaka started almost every Premier League game except some midweeks where most of the team. Unfortunately, that isn't the case, because I owned him, and towards the end of last season, he was playing the lot for some bizarre reason. It's very, very strange that he was just playing the lot. My son does bodybuilding. He's got his first competition in Birmingham on the 23rd of September. He's been working out 3 years now. He looks ripped. Wow. Obviously, this will be a natural How old is he, if you don't mind me asking? He's certainly going into bodybuilding at a young age. It can go one of two ways. I mean, one way is it teaches you a lot of discipline and how to treat your body, etc., etc., but also it can give you severe body dysmorphia. Hello, PK7, good afternoon. What are my thoughts on Sterling? So I think that at 7 million, Sterling could be an absolutely incredible option. In fact, he is somebody which, again, if he's looking really good in the Chelsea game, and one of my midfield 5 is just looking a bit near, I think Sterling could be an absolute goldmine for bringing in the points for a Chelsea team, which I personally believe are going to be attacking a lot next season. So I think if you're a Chelsea fan, you should be really, really excited for next year, in my opinion. And Matty just saying he's 24 and he's 100% natural. Yeah, I'd like to think so. Unfortunately, though, in the bodybuilding world, the lure of steroids is sadly very, very, very high indeed. Anyway, I think I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to get out of here. It looks like the weather's turning shit, so I'm going to try and get a walk in right now. So, as ever, do appreciate anybody that's tuned in, listening into this absolute nonsense. And like I said, it was just a bit of a chill stream. Thanks for listening. All I will say is that make sure you check us out for a proper stream on Monday evening, where I'd like to think Jason will be back, and we'll be doing our usual thing of taking your calls and looking at your latest drafts for you to discuss with myself and Jason. Cheers all.